What's up everybody, this is Markus, your MPT coach of the Academy of Poker, and today we have another hand review video for you. As you see behind me, a bit of a different setting for the day, so if the sound maybe is not the best, please excuse this. As you know, we have the coronavirus, so I'm not at my working PC or at my office PC for these days, so I'm trying it from home. And I just set up everything and I hope it's fine. Let me know in the comments if this is okay for you. But other than that, also by the way, we'll be doing the streaming from here then. You will see it. And yeah, let's jump into the hand for the day. Hi guys, my name is Markus. I'm an MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and we have a great offer for you. Our current Academy of Poker course will only cost you 200 euros, but if you do it the right way, you can even get it for free. All you have to do is hit the link in the description below, get in contact with our managers, and you can start right away. And now, enjoy the upcoming video. Okay, let's see, the picture isn't too fast here. Anyway, we are at a 6-max table here, and I thought this is like a hand where a lot of players have trouble, and in this case me included, to value your hand correctly, and I will go throughout the hand to tell you what exactly I mean. So we have a pretty standard spot opening from the cutoff, 63 big blinds deep, even a bit more, and yeah, we get the easy defend from the button. First, we can have a look at, you see the flop directly, so Queen 8-9 in spades, and yeah, let's have a look here. This is our range that we are opening from the cutoff. I made it a bit tighter now because those monotone boards are really hard for the simple post flop to calculate, so therefore I'll try to make it a bit easier for my PC to calculate everything. But yeah, roughly as you see, pretty normal range. Normally it's a bit wider. If you see here, I have my ranges, so the cutoff is 36%, it's now 32%, and the defending range with 50 big blinds from big blind versus cutoff is also a bit bigger, 74%, actually quite a bit more. But yeah, I toned it down a little bit, so basically I just got rid of mostly those suited hands and some of the off-suited combos, which is already a big percentage, as you see. Anyway, so this is it's still a pretty large defending range here, and as seen, we see the Queen 9-8 suited flop, and we continue for small c-bet. Not even 25% in that case, a little, or actually pretty much 25% in this case. On those monotone boards, those small sizes in a single raise pot are just enough. The thing is, whenever the opponent does not have any spade, or in any way connection seems, let it be like Jack 9, 10-9, but without a spade, he's just gonna fold anyway. And because we're gonna have a lot of bluffs here as well, we choose the small sizing because we get rid of all of his weak hands anyway. Therefore, the small sizing is just enough, and we don't need to put in any more. Even if we have the nut flush, so like it doesn't matter if we have the nut flush or we have the nut low in this possible case here. So we go for the small sizing, and we see a raise, not that big, 4x raise here, which we call. Let's have a look. So as said, we have the auto check from player 1, and we bet 25%. Here we have the ace queen. You see, we check this sometimes because we have the nut flush draw as well, and therefore it's a bit harder for our opponent to have anything. But as you see, we mostly, in 8 out of 10 cases, with this specific hand would bet, and overall bet at least 8 out of 10 times, or 4 out of 5 times for 25%. And the other sizings don't really matter that much because we should almost always continue with this sizing here. Now we see player 1, in this case again, to make it easier, we just have the call or raise. So as you see, he would call almost all of his range here, probably fold quite of that as well, but we took that out in this, as I said, for our RAM to be able to work a bit easier, but it shouldn't change that much in the end. Because in this case also he took the raise, as we see here, and as we see, not too many hands should be raising. We see, for example, even some pure bluffs, like four deuce of hearts, where you actually have like almost no equity, as you see, 9% equity only. And the mate flush here with the small flush should rather just call here. And as you see, the raises are even with the hand that actually have no equity or almost no equity at all here. Same goes for those hands where you see just the small equity hands would be raising and not much else. Out of these hands, you see we would definitely raise the nut flush here, which is pretty interesting, because we will probably also get a lot of auto folds. But in our range, we do have a lot of queen X and a lot of Broadway stuff, so we almost always have like a gut shot in some sort, or at least a pair, so we will a lot of times just not fold. And with our specific hand here, as you see, this is just 100% a call. We don't want to get any more chips in this occasion, because of course we want to keep his bluffs in there as well. So 100% call, and that is exactly what we did. As you see, now we have the 9 of clubs on the turn, and we see a pretty big c-bet here. Now as you see, a bit more in the pot. Player 1 is now the one that has the aggression, and we go for his sizing here, so 3/4 of the pot, a little bit more, even like 80%. And there you see, let's change the color quickly so it's a bit easier to see. You see quite a big, so almost half of the time he will continue here. Rather take this bright number, yeah, that's better. So, and as you see, from his continuing range, also all these suited, I mean in this case this is 2 pair. Let's have a look at the hands that he should raise earlier. He would instantly give up all of his no equity hands, to be honest here. So he then only continues pretty much with the flush he has here. Same goes for this one, and then you see a mix of most of the time, 3/4 of the time, going for this bigger sizing to protect, of course, with his nut flush draws. For example, if we see here the mate flushes, because that's the only ace X he's gonna have left. There you see also pretty much always go for the bigger sizings, and you see with a bigger second card from his ace, we go down a little bit in the sizing. So we rather go for a smaller sizing than a bigger sizing, because we do block possible straight draws here. So therefore, go for a smaller sizing, because it's even easier, or it's harder for our opponent in that case, or for us in this specific hand, to really have a hand. About the others, you see a lot of give ups here, and also for sure continuing with all of the nut flush draws here, which of course you cannot have in this hand, but that would be the normal way to go. As you see, we got this, and yeah, we pretty much don't raise anything here. Yeah, 0.0% would be a raise. We would fold all of our small flush draws, and even as you see, even the nut flush draws should be folded here on the turn, which is pretty interesting. However, our specific hand is just 100% a call, and that's exactly what we did. As said, if he has some draws, like he can always have like a jack or 10 in spades, or has like 2 pair. Full houses are possible as well now, that he would probably play pretty aggressively. So because we do have the ace of spades, so he cannot have the nut flush draw, which players like to play pretty aggressively here a lot of times, and therefore he is definitely locked towards more value hands. Now we see the river. You already see it in several post flop. We got the 6 of diamonds, and he jams. That's the only option really. You see he would give up some of his hands that really just have like showdown value. You see all the 9x, so the trips he made would almost check everything. Also counterfeited 2 pair here, so all the not that value heavy hands, even full houses, he would start checking here pretty much. As you see, almost 90% of the time in average he would start checking them to us, because if he blocks the full houses, we might have quite some flushes, or at least some flush draws, that we would probably even start bluffing there, because his range still consists of like some gut shots plus flush draws, or open-enders with flush draw, etc., etc., and therefore we would try to bluff him out of those if he gives up the river. Now he goes for the jam, and let's have a look. It's pretty even. 50% we would bet, we would call, 50% we would fold pretty much. And you see the hands we're calling, of course, are just all the flush draws, all the made flushes here, because we don't have that much else here. We would even call all the trips for sure, because that makes it easier if we don't, because we don't have the spades here for our opponent to have a spade. And then yeah, of course, full house here. All here the flush, so in those small pseudo connectors it's just always flushes. Pocket nines, of course, all the full houses for sure. Even mostly, funny enough, all the jacks with a spade would be folded quite often, and we always call all the non-spade jacks. Now let's have a look at our specific hand, and you see we fold all our ace queens with the ace of spades here. In 100% of the time we should fold, because he just doesn't have that many. He just doesn't have a bluff really when we have the ace of spades. As you see, we do call in 80% of the time roughly all the non-spade ace queens, because then the chance is of course there that he has the ace of spades and is bluffing here. As you see, it's just really hard if we have the ace of spades for him to do it, and therefore we should just fold. I wasn't able to fold here, even though his line just looks insanely strong, and missed flush draws would probably also give up the turn sometimes, and definitely the river, because that's a pretty big. The only hand that does get there in the end is the neck 10-7, and if, for example, if he makes a full house on the turn, he would probably give it up as well, or at least go for, in my opinion, as small as sizing here, because he will still get us, even though sizing wise it's good because he then has less than pot on the river left, so maybe that would have been his plan overall. In the end he showed us the 4-3 of spades, so we lost that hand. Pretty big pot and definitely avoidable here, so good to see that we should definitely give up. I mean, the turn, as you see, is 100% a call, but then with this specific hand now it's also 100% a fold on the river. So that's the interesting giveaway from here, I think, or takeaway from here. Let me know, guys, what do you think about this hand? Would you play it differently? Would you maybe even raise the flop and just go with your equity to have, if he has like some flush draws, maybe with a gut shot, to not let him give it up there, or maybe charge him if you think you still can get value with this hand? Or would you play it exactly the same way? As said, we need to fold the river here. That's the takeaway from here. But other than that, probably played pretty fine. I said we need to be able to fold the river here. We just don't beat anything but a bluff, and because of the board structure, it is pretty hard for him to have a bluff here. We do block the best bluff catch or bluff hand or bluff card he can have. As said, the ace of spades. If he blocks the nut flush draw here, when he has like ace 8 with the ace of spades, or ace 10 with the ace of spades, for example, then we could see the 3-barrel bluff here. But because we block it, it's just really unlikely for him to do it. And yeah, that was the mistake here from my side. Happens. I'm learning from it. I will not do this again. If the opponent is he was a tight aggressive player, or pretty tight so far, so that should make it even easier for me to fold here. But yeah, I wasn't able to. Happens sometimes, but that's why we do those analysis. That's why we do the training. We do the studying to avoid those mistakes from now on, and be able to make money out of these situations in the next times these situations happen. As always, guys, let me know what you think about the hand. I said it already. If you have any questions about it, let me know as well, about the programs we're using or whatnot, about something else. Always open to answer everything from there. So guys, yeah, thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, as said, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media to not miss out on any updates from our Academy of Poker, and then we'll see you on the next video, the next stream, or in the social media. Good luck at the tables and have a good night. Bye.